Bunch we have here today. Come on, folks, come on. Welcome to Tombstone. Glad you're here on this rather warm, beautiful day. We're going to do 3 shows for you today, folks. 2 of them actually occurred here in Tombstone, and the third happened in Wilcox, Arizona. But to get things started, let's give you a little bit of the history of our town. This is called the town Too Tough to Die. The man right there, and the miner right here, Ed Shefflin, came to Tombstone about 1877. Now, he came with the U.S. Cavalry from northern Arizona. Now, the reason that most men would travel with the U.S. Cavalry is because it was a heck of a lot safer than traveling by yourself. And the further south you came into this part of Arizona, or New Mexico, or even Texas, the Indians got a lot more hostile. Well, we had one special Indian that lived here, or native, Geronimo. Now, about 1876, Geronimo would actually leave the reservation in San Carlos and come back to these mountains here. In fact, if you look up 3rd Street here, you'll see the Dragoon Mountains, beautiful mountains. That was called Cochise's stronghold. Now, the Indian leader Cochise, who was a true Apache chief, Geronimo was not an Apache chief; he was a medicine man. Well, Cochise favored what he called the white eyes, white people. He didn't have a problem with them too much until the cavalry double-crossed him. Then from that day on, he had a hatred for the U.S. Cavalry. Well, after his death, his son would take the Cherokee Apaches to the northern reservation that was set up by the cavalry to keep his people safe. Except Geronimo would break free in about 1876 with a small band of Apache warriors. They would go up and down the Mexican border, raiding both the United States and Mexico, and anybody that was in this area. Well, during that time, this place was called Goose Flat. There was no buildings here. This was just desert. Well, Ed Shefflin would come from Fort Huachuca, which would be established about 17 miles south of here for the Indian Wars, to get the Apaches out of this area. Well, Ed was a prospector. That's what Ed loved to do. So he would venture from Fort Huachuca north. Well, the closer you get to the Dragoon Mountains, the closer you got to Geronimo. Now, this is what he was looking for. It doesn't look like much. Black rock. This is silver ore. Not like gold, not very flashy. But Ed knew there was minerals here. And so he continued to prospect this area until he found a vein of silver that was worth over $13,000 per ton. That's a lot of money in 1880. In fact, it's a lot of money now. Well, Ed would name guess what he named his first mine? The Tombstone. Now, he named it that because when he went to Fort Huachuca with these rocks, the cavalry said, the only rocks you're ever going to have, Ed, is your own tombstone. So, as a joke, he named his first mine the Tombstone. Well, in 1879, the city was incorporated, and they too chose the name Tombstone, and that's where we are today. Well, in 1879, 3 men came to town that you've heard of, the Earps: James Earp, Virgil, and Wyatt. Morgan would soon follow. Well, James actually worked at Bogan's Alley. You know, we had a bowling alley here in Tombstone. We had over 100 saloons, 15 gambling houses. This place ran 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In fact, if they're all gone now, but behind the courthouse, those mountains were full of stamp mills. Stamp mills are what breaks up this rock so they can process it into silver ore. You could hear those stamp mills 24 hours a day. The average miner would be underground 17 to 18 hours a day. So when he came up out of the ground, you know what he wanted to do. He wanted to gamble, and he just wanted to relax. Well, that's where the trouble started. So our first story is called Luke Short, the Undertaker's Friend. At the bar right there is a man named Luke Short. He's what you call a dandy, very well dressed. But Luke had another quality about him. He was one of the world's fastest gunmen. That's right. And so Wyatt Earp in 1880 would bring him from Leadville, Colorado, to help him in the Oriental Saloon. And that's where our story takes place today. The man at the table there is Charlie Storms. Now, Charlie Storms is not quite a gunfighter, but he does have a reputation. In fact, in 1876, he's actually there when Wild Bill is killed by Jack McCall. One of his guns actually falls, an 1851 Navy Colt. He picks it up as a souvenir. Well, the year is 1880. We are in the Oriental Saloon, 5th and Allen Street. Let's see what happens.
Well, howdy, Pat.
How are you?
Not bad. Bill took off into the back and haven't seen him since.
You told me to watch the bar.
Well, that's just fine by me.
Whiskey?
Of course. Say, you seen that new songbird you had down at the Birdcage Theater?
Oh, yeah. She's beautiful.
Oh, she's got a voice like an angel.
Nice on the eyes, too.
Oh,
Enjoy.
you're kidding. Boy, that's a
Sure. Why don't you come back over here? Let me win some of my money back.
Boy, he never quits, does he?
No, he doesn't.
Excuse me, Pat. A fool is mine. Haven't had enough, huh?
You mind if I join you?
Oh, not at all, Pat. Bring some money with you.
Give me 100.
There you go.
Only 100? You need more playing with a man like him.
Shut up, Storms.
What's wrong with him?
He's been on a little losing streak. Crying like a little girl all morning. Charlie, how many cards you
I need 3.
see? Three it is. That?
2.
Dealer stands. Okay, Charlie. That's to you.
I know how to play the game.
Then empty up. Magic, you've been called.
Pair of 7s.
Beats my deuces.
Well, don't be two pairs, you know?
Dealing yourself from the bottom of the deck again.
Now look, Storms. You got something on your mind, you better spit it out right now.
Don't be a fool, Charlie. Put it away. Put it away. The pole in this old saloon. God, can't we play poker?
Kid's gotta learn some manners.
You know, you're one of the fastest men I've ever seen with a gun, but you're one of the slowest poker dealers I have ever played cards with.
Small and meticulous, there's a difference. Now, what are you grinning about, Charlie?
I only need one.
One it is. That?
Good, I don't think he's bluffing. It's not smart enough.
I don't buy it. Okay, Charlie. Let's see what you're so proud of.
Told you.
Still don't buy it. You've been called.
3 aces.
Not so fast. 3 aces may be a pretty strong hand indeed, but it doesn't beat 4 eights.
Oh. How many hands is that now?
7.
Take it outside. Sleep it off and come back. God.
Well, you turned the last card with me. Kid, you don't have any manners. You gotta find yourself another profession. This one isn't seems to be working out for him too well.
Sure!
That, you pick yourself the damnedest friends.
I'm not going to have any friends. Folks, old Charlie Storms there is buried at Boot Hill. Maybe you saw his grave. Now, as for Luke Short there, well, in his lifetime he kills 14 men. He is definitely one of the world's fastest gunfighters. In fact, Virgil Earp, Morgan, just about every famous Western outlaw, and even sheriff will tell you that there was no man to go up against. Now, about 1893, he'll end up getting a disease called dropsy, commonly known today as heart disease. He'll die in Kansas. And as for him, well, you know where he's at. He's in Boot Hill. Thanks, folks.